The number one question.
Be true to your show.
The number one question that you have coming into Supercross, like rider, team, bike, series, like
what episode is Sexton on? That's my number one question.
That you're all going to have to wait for. I haven't. I still have like 12 hours to figure it out.
He brought it up last week again.
Sexton did.
Yeah, he really did.
I mean, it is a tough look when you end up winning the championship. It's a tough.
Well,
like to think
it
that
could get even tougher.
Like to think I was vindicated with.
I mean, is the title enough? Is being the champion of the series enough? We'll see.
Okay,
we'll see.
So
you were vindicated. Sexton was fornicated. Yeah, that's how we're gonna go about.
Okay, so all right, Keith, we'll start with
you. Start with me because I'm the easiest fucking guy to talk to.
No, I'm not. No,
go ahead.
There was no reason. No.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
Steve and I haven't been fighting at all lately.
Do you want my question?
Yes.
I'll start if you guys want.
No. Okay. Start with me. I'm ready.
Have we?
Go ahead. Biggest question you have for Supercross.
Will Webb be as good as he was last year on the Yamaha? And that is because he wanted the switch. So for me, that is a big question because he wanted to go there. We've known that for a long time. And now he's here. Of course, Paris isn't the end-all, be-all. We've all discussed this before. But it does give us a little glimpse. He needed to do some work. I've heard you mention he doesn't look in shape yet.
In Paris.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, the question is Webb. New bike. He wanted that switch, and he has to perform and be better than where he was at. That's the big question for me.
Okay. All right. Weech, what's your number one question?
What level will Jett Lawrence be in 450 Supercross? Are we taking things to another level?
That's your biggest question?
Huh?
That's your McGrath in 93?
How is that not the biggest? That's a ridiculous answer? Question. Like, what level are we I mean, the guy's
what do you
level
think
was
suck?
Well, he came into motocross and he won every single moto. The definition of dominance.
Yeah.
Is he coming in at that level? Is he coming in at he can't even get through 17 rounds?
Did you watch OA?
I think your question's legit, so
really?
I'm not.
So you're saying we're done?
No.
We're done.
No. I'm saying the biggest question.
I think what he's saying. We're going
to go into Anaheim like every year and say hashtag deep field. It's stacked. We've never seen it like this. 12 guys can win.
Also, Anaheim's weird.
Yeah. Or is there a chance that there's just one guy that just wipes the floor of everyone?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, now we have a question.
Right.
Now we have a question. We have a question that we don't have an answer to.
I think it's a legit question.
I think he's going to be great. Like that for me, it's not a huge question.
I'm not saying he's going to be a top 10 guy, obviously. But going into the national
domination.
Yes, that's a legit question.
Okay.
Is it or is it not? Right. After you go 22-0, I don't think it's a ridiculous.
Is it McGrath in 93?
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I understand if you're an Eli Tomac fan or a Chase Sexton fan, that's ridiculous. But I think it's a fair question to ask. That's to me the biggest question.
I want
what
to add
level
to this.
will he be?
I want to ask a question with a question. If he wins A1, is it done?
No.
Really?
A1's never a good indicator.
But I mean, he's coming out to win A1, and he wins, and I feel like that's the.
And he very well could, but I don't think Supercross. Like if you look at his body of work, especially in Supercross, it's not a lot of runaway domination. It's controlled, close wins.
Besides outdoors.
Yeah, in Supercross, I'm saying like he's good at it. He manages races really well, and maybe that's how he goes about it again. But I think the margins are really, really tight in Supercross.
So not as big as there is.
Yeah, I think. Doesn't get a good start. I think guys are going to try to rough him up. Barsha and Anderson, these guys are going to try to get in there and push him around a little bit, like Charlotte. They got to him in Charlotte. I still think he's incredible. I still think there's a very good chance he's your champion, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as it looked this summer.
What's your question?
Sounds like a great question because we just spent 5 minutes analyzing.
Okay. No, hold on. Let me clarify.
It could go many ways.
At least I know it's not just me.
Weege, I thought you were asking if he was going to be like really good or not. That's where I was like,
I think
come on.
I don't think he'd ask that question.
Once you clarified, is he going to dominate the way he did outdoors? Then I'm good.
When I say what level, I mean like as good as everybody else,
amazing,
or even higher.
Amazing or super amazing.
Yeah, pretty much. Those are the two levels.
I retract it.
Yeah,
I retract it.
Okay, what's your biggest question?
So I was going to go Webb.
Okay.
So I'll pivot.
Okay.
No, that was where I was going. But I also think there's a case to be made because we had an opportunity to talk to Jason Anderson at Feld Media Days, and I was absolutely befuddled at what the hell was going on with Jason Anderson in 2023. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, this guy was insanely good in 22. He should be the same guy in 23, but he wasn't. He was nowhere near it. He couldn't finish races. He couldn't stay off the ground. And he talked about some shock changes that they made that really didn't work. And
was he on BFRC?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And he said he just hated it. And he said partially the level was higher, like Tomac was better, and he had to be better. And when he tried to raise to their level, he couldn't. Like the bike just would not respond. He put him on his head over and over and
At
over.
what point did he switch shocks, or did they ever let him switch?
They switched now on the 24.
Oh, copy.
But he was just on it the whole time, and he said it was terrible. And AC kind of backed him up and said, yeah, that's AC that was the most uncomfortable he'd ever been on a 450 was that last year's setup.
That's insane to me. Like,
And maybe I'm overstating that, but I remember him saying something like that. He was very uncomfortable with
your
the
riders are unhappy. They're not performing. Why aren't you switching things for them? That's what I don't understand.
I don't know the politics. I don't know anything about it. But I went into that. The only thing I wanted out of Anderson is what the hell was going on. That's all I wanted to know. And that's what he specifically pointed, not getting married, not having his first child, not mental, not anything other than the motorcycle was nowhere near as good as it was in 22. No, I don't know how they didn't just go back to 22 setup. I'm with you. But I think that's my question. Can he get back to 22's level? Because if he does, he can make things very interesting.
All right.
Steve?
My biggest question is Sexton and the new bike. Like,
I knew that's a good one. I didn't want to steal yours.
Well,
so,
no, you can, but like that. Okay, so KTM made some frame changes again to try to help that bike out a little bit. They're back on smaller suspension. Chase told us last week. Look, Coop won some races on that thing, and
He was in the hunt.
Aaron Plessinger should have won a race on it, but like, I don't know. I feel like Chase is going to be as fast as ever, but can the bike do what he wants to do? I did talk to someone in the Austrian group inside.
Was it Pit Buyer?
Nope. I like Pitt though. Pitt's a good dude.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre?
Was not Mr.
Called
Pierre.
right to the top.
RD?
It was the ghost of Rod Bush.
Okay.
Rod
Okay.
came down.
He's like, get those linkages off.
That's awesome.
Rod-
Get that linkage off.
Rod hugged me after we
He
won
did
High Point.
after the
Hug-
breakthrough.
He
hugged
win.
did?
me. I think he was like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah. But you look like you have a KTM shirt on.
Yeah.
Give me a hug.
He hugged me.
Come in
no,
for the real thing.
This was in headquarters on the Monday. Like, after the
wow,
race.
okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Hugged me.
Did he at
Anyway,
least know you were the mechanic?
I think he did. That's why he hugged me. Yeah, I think he did. Okay. It was not the ghost of Rod Bush.
All right.
I spoke to someone deep in the Austrian.
I like
Did
where
he
you're
think you were
going.
the
Wow.
old,
I like where your head's at.
what was Kelly's old mechanic's name? Did you think you were that guy?
Yeah, Mike Weisner.
Mike Weisner. Did you think you were Mike Weisner?
Are we done laughing? or
Okay,
can I
I-
go-
Okay,
hold on.
sorry. You got a
Hold on.
question? What's your
So
question
I
again?
want, I want to add to your point
Yeah.
on Sexton. So
No, I wasn't.
Yeah,
done
I
my
mean, he's
point.
not even done yet.
Well, I want to.
Don't you want to hear what the guy who was deep?
Yes. Yeah. Please.
Okay.
Please.
I talked to a guy.
I thought we were done with that.
No, I talked to a guy deep in the Austrian,
I just want you to say that more. I like that.
Sounds gay.
and he told me Chase not as good in the whoops.
Yeah.
Like, having some issues with the bike in the whoops.
Okay. Can I add to this
that
now?
was like, so my biggest question is, like, I think he's as good as ever, talent-wise and speed-wise, but he went from a bike that threw him down,
Yeah.
and I wonder about the new bike. That's
Okay.
my biggest question.
So,
Yeah.
Weege and I got to talk to him,
Yeah.
right?
Was he deep?
We're very great. Like, this is an awesome opportunity, right? Like, it's long days. I think Weege would agree it's really long days. You
Yes.
get bored at times.
Grinding.
Only the creme de la creme get invited. I just want to make that
I want
clear.
to make he's digging at you, not me.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
You
aware.
invited them, by the way.
yeah.
But I did not get the feeling leaving there that he was like over the moon. Oh my God, this bike is the answer.
So he
I
wasn't like a
didn't-
typical rider who said,
No.
I'm 5 seconds a lap faster.
No, he wasn't Dylan
Right,
Ferrandis
right.
with a Honda.
Or McGrath on the KTM on the cover of Transworld.
I will win races. Oh, wow.
But it wasn't that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know if maybe I'm reading too much into that, but I left there going,
Right.
like that's not.
Right.
I wanted him to come in and say, dude,
Yeah.
this is so much better. I am in such a better place mentally. I'm so happy. This was the right decision. And he was just like, yeah, things are going pretty good. Like, I'm pretty happy. Like, you know, so
I'll tell you who I talked to during a commercial break. But
Okay.
Well,
deep.
I'm going to raise your deep, and I'm going to go deep.
Whoa! Wow.
And tell you guys that I talked to someone.
Got some real
Are you
range
making
there.
this up, though?
No, I'm being
I feel like
serious.
this is a bit. This is
No,
a bit.
it's not a bit.
Because I talked to somebody deep.
5 deeps?
I mean, we talked to Chase.
I'm all on the 4th level of
How
deep.
deep
so
are you guys?
I thought it was a bit.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm on the 4th level of deep, okay? Wow. And this gentleman said,
Okay, it's a gentleman. We know that.
that these riders, Chase and Aaron, didn't switch to the new frame until recently
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
because they were on old frame up until
Why-
3
2
weeks ago.
yeah.
Why wouldn't
that's
they have
true.
that new frame earlier?
Well,
was it a supply
The direction was to stay with old frame.
Oh.
But Chase, from what I've heard, deep, was that he asked for it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Barsha staying
Hold
on the old one.
They don't want the guys on the new bike they're selling in January?
I don't know. We got to go deep to get that info.
I would think that's where KTM would start. Hey, this is the brand new F.
Yeah.
We'd
We
like-
know, we know
yeah.
we had issues.
Yeah.
Coop, everyone said.
Yeah.
Here's the new bike that's supposed to fix some issues. I think that
I think they will do
start with.
anything to get right.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like Barsha
Right.
doesn't want to do it. Barsha's staying on the old one.
Yeah.
Right?
We
that's
got
what
some information on
he
that
told
later.
us.
Yeah, we do.
It would be odd to me to be like, some of the problems you guys had, we've fixed them, but don't ride this. Ride the one that still has.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing on this, I haven't talked to anyone even deep
okay,
into this,
okay.
so I'm just going to throw this at you, Kiefer, because you know people 5 deeps in, 4 deeps
4
in.
deeps.
The smaller suspension, we're saying
Yeah.
forks,
48,
right?
yeah.
Okay, wasn't that Cooper Webb's primary want and need and
And
complaint?
they told him no.
And now he's gone, and they're doing that.
Yes.
And then I would assume that some of the changes with this new frame, it would be odd to me if they weren't also somewhat reflective of what the race team. So he's got the forks that he wanted, and maybe even the chassis changes that he wanted after he's gone. That's just incredible timing
And
when I heard that.
and they fought him. We know that. Yeah.
Yes, he did get to use it in Atlanta only, I believe, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then he didn't podium.
Right.
Look at
I don't know. It's
if you
odd to me.
if you have the number 1 plate and that rider's asking for something different because he recognizes there's something else out there, right?
Yeah.
I would like that. Can I try that?
It's incredible.
From what I've understand, they only had certain parts that were connected to the old frame. So they bolted some of those parts onto the new frame and it wasn't correct. Right.
Right.
And then they got the updated parts to go with the new frame, and now here we are.
Okay.
Okay.
So it was a little bit of a timing. We don't have everything
Correct.
we
We don't
need
have
yet.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was alarming that it was first week of December,
Yeah.
right? And the Husky guys had not even ridden it yet. They have now, but 2 weeks ago they had not even tried it.
2 votes for Mookie flying at the test track. I've gotten.
Yeah.
Just
Oh yeah, there were
There are
people-
guys that are deep.
Yes.
I don't want to name names, but they're the guys he rides with at the baker's factory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who
his-
were like,
his
oh my
teammates.
God. Yeah, his
Okay.
teammates were like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I
is he
think
going
one
fast?
of those 2 sources was the same gentleman. That
Oh, you
probably
better
talked
be
to.
careful.
Well, I don't know anything about what you're saying.
You better be
But
careful.
I mean, I'll say it. Like,
But my deep source is not a rider.
I mean, Christian Craig literally
Oh,
said
okay.
if
Yeah.
he doesn't win A1, something went
Triple
very
D.
wrong. Like,
Yeah.
he straight up
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
like, if he doesn't win A1,
Right.
something went very wrong.
So,
Let's just get into this part, right? Because we're here.
well, Dino's coming up, but
Oh, okay.
but what do you mean?
Well, we are confirmed that the riders on the Husqvarna side like the old frame.
Okay.
They're sticking with that.
They've had time to
They've
try
had
it,
time
use
to test
Okay.
it. They chose to go the other way, and to go off to the Mookie point. Again, now you have a rider that's the same bike as last year. Look how good he was on that at the end of the season. And now he has the same bike. He doesn't want to switch. And I think with some of that stiffer frame, Mookie's a heavier guy. He pounds things. He's not a finesse kind of rider. So that stiffer frame is going to be a lot better for him.
Okay.
If you look at a Plessinger,
Yeah,
he's-
you assume the new frame is more flexy. You assume.
It-
It's got
I
a
don't
hole,
assume
it's
that
got like
is.
a hole in
Okay,
it, right?
yeah,
hole in
yeah.
it somewhere that adds
Right.
flex
Yes.
is what I've been
around
told.
that-
I don't
they're
know.
on the shock
So
area,
there's-
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's more flex within that frame,
Okay.
which the consumer wants it, right? So I
Here
think
we
that's
go.
one of the reasons why.
Here-
Production
he's,
side.
He's gonna blow himself.
No, I'm
Watch
not.
this,
I'm
watch
not
this.
gonna. I'm not gonna.
Live on the air, you're gonna see a man.
I wasn't even gonna mention
deep.
that.
You're
He's
gonna
going
see a
to be
man fillet-
deep.
Is fillet a word?
Fellatio.
Yeah, but fillet.
He's gonna fillet himself.
He's going to be
I
deep,
wasn't
deep,
even
deep
gonna say
in
anything.
himself.
I was in a text
here we
group
go.
text, and Kiefer was asking about the difference in the frames to someone who would know, and then Kiefer told the guy on the text, "Hey, is this what it's doing?" And the guy says, "That's exactly what it's doing." And
I
this
wasn't gonna say that.
He's very, very impressed with himself.
Yeah.
Deep within himself
yeah,
right
he-
now.
I mean, look,
What 70K a year will get you.
he like went in.
After taxes.
he went into like a great detail about what the frame does on landing and pop up, and the guy was like, "That's exactly it." And I'm like, "Oh my fucking, here we go."
I wasn't even going there. He went there. But what I'm saying is, it fits some riders better, and it is nice to have an option on the team. Like, hey guys, here's our options. What other teams do you know within the paddock has a couple frame options?
No.
Well, dude,
Right?
I mean, you go to like when Roxon wanted to switch from Showa to KYB, it was the biggest deal in the world for Suzuki. They freaked like we're just switching like suspension brands that come stock on other bikes that you sell.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, ah! Like, again, the OEMs, like, great on KTM to be flexible because generally these guys freak out.
So what we learned here is maybe these frame changes are not necessarily what Webb or someone was asking for. Some of these are consumer-based, and it's not necessarily that for the factory guys in Supercross, they're saying this is definitely better.
No matter what, race team is connected to the production side somehow, some way.
Right.
Right? You have to run, obviously in our world, we have to run a production frame.
Yes.
So if the consumer and the bike is getting ranked down because of rigidity, you're going to have to make a choice. And then you have a rider even saying, hey, our bike is stiff.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, we need to do something about it, right?
Well,
but that doesn't mean
thinner fork tubes.
That doesn't mean that every rider wants to go that direction. So the beauty within all of this is KTM is able to change things in a quick manner.
Do you think Webb goes by the truck at Anaheim 1 just like this, the KTM? Double middle fingers?
DGAF.
How about those forks,
Yeah,
huh?
how's that? How's that? Yeah.
48s, huh?
I have questions, and I did not speak with him at these media days, so that's on me for not getting to the bottom of this. But I've seen comments on other shows or somewhere where he's kind of like he was pissed that KTM didn't offer him a contract and they were going after Sexton before him. Okay, I've seen that in print somewhere. I didn't get the impression that he wanted to stay there. So, like, I don't know how to square that. Like, you're saying he's going to give them double birds, but I'd never felt like he was trying to stay.
I think part of the reason was because they wouldn't give him those forks that they now are running.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they said, go do your own suspension, and he did his own suspension.
Yeah.
And then, from what I understand, AP was like, I want to do that suspension. And they're like, no. And they're like, you know what? You're just causing too many problems. Go home. You know? So, all right, let's get to Shane before we get to Dean Wilson. We got more Supercross talk, though, tonight. Shane, what's up, man? You got a Creed thought?
Yeah. I know you are at least a stick and ball